Like the die roll is massive for Rikka Sunavalon. It feels almost impossible to break the board if they get to start.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll see who wins the dice roll. By the sound of it, I think Liam has, and I believe unexpected die. I believe. Ah, close enough. So here we are. We're going to go for just the standard combo. I hope, but we'll see how he goes for it.
Will he ash the sewing? I'm sure Jordan knows exactly where to ash the Rikka deck if he does have it.
Honestly, there's no better feeling compared to Euros 2022. We both played this deck basically the first time it was ever there.
He opened Lily too. So in Jordan's list, we can see the only hand trap he plays is Nibiru the Primal Being, and Ethereal Lily Borea really shuts it off because Liam will decide to summon Ethereal King Regulus early, which will give him a negate. It does so by Lily searching this Colosseum, searching Regulus.
We do see in Jordan's side deck, he does size an additional 11 hand traps. So if this game one goes a little suboptimal, we'll see how he's able to combat that in game number 3.
I think Jordan is probably prepared to take the risk if he is against combo game 1 and does lose the roll, but he's more prepared for game 3, where he's going second with these hand traps. And he decides to go for the most effective hand trap of them all, Dimensional Shifter, which helps mostly his Tyrannos.
Yep. So we can see in Liam's list, 45. What do you think about 45, Enrico?
I'm a fan of 45. It lets you play cards like Small World. You pretty much just want cards that say Sunseed Genius Loci, and you also dilute the chances of you drawing maybe the one of such as Primula.
Sheets, those types of cards. Big fan of that number.
Sewing, special summoning the healer, and he also sewing special summoning Twin.
Summoning the healer, summoning back the Genius Loci from the graveyard here, gaining 300 life points in the mist. So seems like the combo is going fine for now. We'll see where he decides to take it as we head into the Jasmines and the additional life point gain.
Jasmine will let him search when he gains life points off this healer.
Coming so forth. Depends what he's already got in his hand. It depends what he wishes to add. Could go for either... There's so many cards you can go for, really.
Yeah.
There's Primula, there's Mudan, there's Snowdrop, even Princess, maybe. Just depends where he wants to take it.
On the other hand, I do think Unchained might have the capability to break the board, depending on how Liam decides to use the interruptions that he's going to gain.
I think for me it depends on not only what cards does Jordan draw for going second, because honestly, I think Sheet plus Concon, it does a lot on its own.
Yes.
It gets rid of 2 cards.
I am a big believer of trying to use Sheet first because it means you're not vulnerable to any of the tactics cards. If you decide to use a monster effect first, the tactics cards could be could hurt a lot.
Yeah, and especially with the deck in general, the Unchained deck, it needs 2 cards to play. Outside of Tour Guide, it's all a card to destroy and a card that is doing destroying.
Yeah.
So you need the 2 cards to begin with, and Sheet, that gets rid of 2 of them anyway, just for the price of 1. So
now we are seeing the Rikka engine.
Yep, Petal.
Use him using Jasmine's effect to tribute the healer, especially on Petal. And what did they search off of the Petal?
I saw a Snowdrop at some point. I did not quite see what they got off the Jasmine, unfortunately. But we would assume that here we're trying to aim for Bengalance, Regulus, Sheet, Concon, rank 4. If they're feeling adventurous, maybe going for the rank 9 as well, Sacred Tree.
Yeah. And he's going to use Snowdrop effect, especially on itself and Mudan. So the reason why this is very cool for Rikka, it means he can add back the Mudan back from his grave and then tribute the Strenna if he decides to summon it, the rank 4.
So it's just further cards really just to gain the advantage. So we're seeing Liam just continue going through.
Yeah, Mudan, add the Rikka Concon.
We'll see if he's able to make some sort of play where he's able to activate the Concon after he's summoned the Sacred Tree.
Exactly. To be able to attach to it.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
To it.
So we're going to see just continuing the combo here, really.
So he's gone and activated Rikka Gamma to tribute the petal, to add Primula and Princess. When a monster he controls tribute, he's able to special summon the Primula, and the Princess can just special summon itself.
Yeah. So, what do you think Jordan's game plan is? He hasn't, as far as I'm aware, he has not drawn Nibiru. He's not drawn maybe these imperms as well. What kind of game plan do you think he's going to have to try and get into
he's going to try and use his Unchained cards to whittle down the board Liam will establish.
Yep.
And depending on how Liam uses interrupts, there is a world where Jordan can get through it.
Yes, I agree with that.
Unchained has the ability to deal a lot of damage. The monsters are very big, and he has the ability to destroy Liam's cards.
I do wish we knew if he activated the Snowdrop there just to make everything level 4.
Yeah.
Just to see if maybe that was a potential line. Getting, again, resummoning that Mudan just to trigger the Strenna in the graveyard. But yeah.
Maybe he's opted not to have a spell negate on Sacred Tree if he does decide to summon it. I think he is deciding whether to Snowdrop effect now to make both of his plant monsters level 8. I think he has. Yep. And now he's going to summon Rikka's Teardrop.
Yeah, I think the Teardrop's actually pretty good in this matchup as well.
Against Unchained, especially the monsters, Unchained monsters only activate if they are destroyed, but Teardrop tributes.
Exactly. So you just gain more advantage, and it's such a unique effect as well. It tributes for effect.
Something Liam could have done here, he could have Teardropped and tribute his own Strenna.
Yes, yeah.
And then use Strenna's effect to special summon the Bengal monster. That way, with the Concon he just activated, he would have been able to get a spell attached to this Sacred Tree. But instead he's holding the Rikka Queen to, I guess, summon on Jordan's turn.
Yep. I quite like the Jasmine here as well. Unique ability. It does also just stop the other two stop the Teardrop, from being destroyed by battle.
As currently Liam's life points are higher. And he has just passed with Regulus, Teardrop, a Rikka Princess in Grave, a Concon on the field, and a Rikka Sheep.
Yep. So we're going to see just how Jordan decides to tackle this field. Just as he thinks his plays through. Maybe not the most optimal of hands there, but we'll see just how he's able to navigate it.
It's definitely difficult because you don't want to really waste any resources here right now.
Yeah, especially just, as I said, your plays are all 2-card plays, right? So you just want to make sure that you're getting the most value and you're utilizing all of your cards to the best of their abilities.
Maybe he's also trying to figure out what Liam might negate. Is he trying to maybe bait out a Princess negate here? Lots of people tend to use Princess to tribute the tour guide. I know he's letting it. I'm not a fan of using this Rikka Sheet here.
I'm also not a fan of it.
Deciding to hold it. Yep, letting it through.
Letting it through. I think this is fine to let through here.
I think you can activate the Rikka Sheet afterwards.
I think so as well. I think it'd be really cute if he was able to take control of the Phoenix Rhino Warrior and put it in the Jasmine zone so it can't be destroyed by battle. I think that'd be cute.
Once he activates Rikka Sheet and targets the Phoenix Rhino Warrior, it becomes a plant.
Exactly.
And he decides to use Concor's effect and tribute the tour guide for cost.
Yep.
And to then gain Rikka Sheet's second effect to take control of the
This is the only time that although this is obviously a good value exchange, it does still feel a little bit underwhelming, just because you want your sheet to try and trade for 2 cards here, right?
Yeah.
But in this instance, it's only about trade for 1.
But Jordan has used his normal summon.
That is true. So he only really has 2 cards to try and extend through this now.
I can imagine Jordan using the most common extender. Will it be Shavara?
Or Aruha.
Or Aruha.
I think if it's Aruha, I think I'd consider letting it go, in all honesty.
That's understandable.
Just because I think I want to try and negate the Shavara with the Rikka Princess.
That's understandable.
So we're just double checking the cards here just to make sure nothing's missed.
But I'm also not against using the Rikka Princess to tribute the Rikka Strenna.
I'm not against that as well.
Because this Sacred Tree that you would summon would negate any monster effects, and the Unchained monsters do not trigger when they're destroyed in hand.
Yes, agreed. Is he playing Cool by the Grave?
Yes, they decided to negate, and Jordan realised he doesn't have enough with the deck and as a player. And we're into game 2, and Jordan is starting. Starts off with Tour Guide.
Liam, not with an Ash Blossom there. Playing with the hair just to think about what is to come. So, summoning a Rhino Warrior. Going to make a push into Yama here, I would assume. So you think Jordan should be respecting Nibiru here. So he'll do one of the plays with Sarama, likely. Do you think there's any other cards he should be respecting here from Liam?
I feel confident enough to say Liam doesn't have Ash in his hand, so that might be a card he crossed off. And I think Imper might be a card he crossed off too. Imper might be a card Liam might hold for his turn, just to make sure it can negate the High King Caesar.
Yes, I agree. I think that's the line play I'd go for. It also depends what kind of cards Liam has also drawn for his engine. If he sees the unexpected die plus other cards, he's just in such a winning position at that point.
Yeah. So we see Jordan activate a rear effect to destroy the Abominable Chamber to special summon Shyama from his deck, and now he's using Shyama's on-field effect to destroy Arura and opting not to destroy a spell like trap, but that effect is optional.
I really do like this line of play here from Jordan. Likely to see
a Soul of Rage.
Soul of Rage now.
I'm also a fan of this play. Making sure you have the Shavara in hand on your opponent's turn, just
it's another layer of defense, really, isn't it?
It also makes sure your High King Caesar can't be stolen, because if the High King Caesar gets stolen, you can't use it to negate cards like Soul of Rage or the Shavara in hand or any of the trap effects.
It's just a layer of interrupts you just lose if you don't have to take this route, right?
Yeah.
Sarama likely to summon another copy of Shavara here. Yep, really well executed by Jordan here.
Yeah. And he's kept the Soul of Rage engraved that he will be able to summon at any time with the chamber, Abominable Chamber of the Unchained in his grave that he has set right now.
And he's still got 4 cards in hand, right?
Yeah, it was a very, what I like to call cheap board.
Yes, yeah.
A very cheap board, didn't cost much. And if it is backed with his more, let's say, hand traps that he sided, it can be very tough for Liam to break through.
So another set card there for Jordan.
We can imagine there might be an escape or an infinite impermanence.
Yep, very likely one or the other. So let's see how Liam is able to take this game.
If Liam does start with Small World, he might be able to grab Gamma Seal, the Kaiju.
I agree with that. I think there's lots of really unique cards he's able to take here. Do you think he might have sided in Corbett Grave as well?
Potentially.
The Predaplan, the Dino Wrestler Pancratops also trades really well here.
Yeah.
But again, also, if Jordan at the end has his own copy of Nibiru the Primal Being, for say, or any other hand traps, that can also make Liam's chances of playing through this board a lot slimmer.
Yeah, Jordan has a lot going on the turn after. The Shavara underneath the DD High King Caesar will trigger, getting him a trap card, as well as the DD High King Caesar getting him a dark contract with the gate. And also the Shyama in his graveyard. So he has a lot going for him if he does lose this Caesar. A Lightning Storm comes down.
From monsters.
Trading with the Caesar.
I think that's fine. I think I'm fine with that. I think I'm fine with that from both Jordan and Liam here.
Yeah.
I think
Jordan still has quite a lot going for him.
He does.
But Liam is probably happy he has dealt with, I would say, the main threat.
He's dealt with like the impossible one, right?
Yeah. The first barrier.
Yep. So he did not decide to add a copy of the Dark Contract at the gate there.
Yep.
Maybe he's already got a copy in his hand that he just...
Maybe he decided to side it out.
That's
I'm
also
not too
true.
sure.
Maybe he sided it out. I think that's even more likely, in honesty.
Let's see what Liam decides to start with it. Maybe we might see an unexpected die. Oh, he's gone for a normal summon of Sunseed Genius Loci. It's amazing what one level 1 vanilla can do. I've been blessed
by the knowledge. But honestly, it's such a crazy card design, just seeing what this one singular vanilla monster is just able to achieve.
Yeah.
Like, just for the support around it.
A Droll and Lotbird here.
There is.
I think this is going to be very tough for Liam to break through now.
I agree with that. I think
There's a lot of cards in the Rikka Sunavalon deck that do add from deck to hand.
agreed.
Shutting off Rikka Petal.
I really like this play from Jordan here as well, bringing back the link. I am to assume.
Yes, because Sunvine Sowing only lets you summon out the Sunseed Twin if you have the Sunavalon Dryas from the field. If you don't have Sunavalon Dryas, you only get to summon out Genius Loci. And when you take this 1,000 damage, you can't gain it back because the Dryas is not in the field.
I agree with that. So we're going to see the Sowing activated. If he chains here.
Jordan is in fact familiar with these Sunavalon and Rikka cards.
I think he would likely chain.
Is he considering activating Escape?
Oh, that's quite nice.
It somewhat achieves the same results. And
Very good combo heavy deck is going first.
Well, Jordan is literally preying on his opening hand. But he does play enough cards.
Going to main phase 1.
How is Liam going to start?
Lots of thinking there from Liam. Maybe just navigating as best as he can before he starts committing cards to the field. So really he wants to see something like Loci, the Unexpected Die, maybe the Small World, although that plays a little bit harder into Draw and Lockbird.
There are times where you start with special summoning Rikka Princess to make sure you have a monster negate early. So that could be an option Liam might go for.
In all fairness, like even just Rikka Princess into Mudan, I think that's a decent play versus the Unchained strategy. You put up a monster negate with Princess in the graveyard, but then you also just get Konkan into Sheet, and I think that's also really strong.
Liam decided to start with Small World.
The most complicated aspects of the deck, just ensuring you don't cross the two of the same bridge.
A Draw on Lockbird here will be quite impactful.
Yes, I agree. So he's going to go from Primula, likely aiming to either get to Lily Borea, or to Loci here.
Small World works really well in this deck as the different plant archetypes have different attributes and different levels and stats, and they share the same type. So it's a very easy to use Small World. As the Loci, no Draw on Lockbird.
No Draw on Lockbird, that's the most impactful part of the turn so far. No, I would also say there's no Dimensional Shifter either here now, since the Loci has hit the graveyard.
Ideally, if Liam could have held the Small World for Lily Borea, to play around in the river, but I guess his hand doesn't give him the luxury to do so.
I think Jordan might have a Moonlit Chill here.
Effect Veiler or Imperm, I think are somewhat effective.
Imperm is also good. When you see them committing to it.
Oh, he has already opened up the Sunvine Sowing.
Okay, so we're going to see a little bit of a variation on the combo here, as he doesn't quite have the 4 monsters required, but the twin still does produce the second monster needed. And
he has enough materials to go into Jasmine and be able to tribute a plant and special summon. He's using the Dryas to chain block if Jordan did have a bell. Maybe he forgot.
But either way, I think in that situation, I still would activate it, just to ensure, right?
In that scenario, he would have played around Bell as he would be responding to the Dryas effect.
So we're going to see if how Liam completes the rest of his turn. Especially with Primula gone now, it makes guessing into that Strenna just that little bit harder.
Definitely. Rikka Glamour used to be a 1-card Strenna if you could able to tribute, especially on Primula and Glamour as we saw in game 1. But he won't be able to do that this time round.
Okay, so Jordan said thinking here. So it's a little bit of a scary...
I think this is a really good position to Nibiru.
I agree.
You don't want to let him use Jasmine's effective tribute to maybe summon a Petal. Yes, he has gone for the Nibiru here. He is well versed with the deck. He does not want the Rikka Petal to go to the graveyard.
Agreed. And I think it's just important ensuring you don't put it in any of those far left, far right, or middle zone.
Yes.
Just to play around the second Romance Jasmine.
Yeah, especially when he's let Liam not activate the effect.
Yes.
So if Liam is able to get to 2 more plot monsters, he can summon Jasmine again. But since the monster is not in any of the zone 1, 3, or 5, he won't be able to use the token.
So we're going to see just quite how Liam decides to keep playing here.
He is down on cards. He used Small World, Sunvine Sowing, the monster for Small World. Talents!
So look at the hand.
This might be really powerful because Jordan has
cannot
not
play.
opened Engine.
What do you think you take? I think it depends on what is in Liam's hand here.
Yes.
If he has the Ash Blossom,
Most likely the Veiler.
then yeah.
Because I think Liam right now could maybe even pass Friday would be fine if he's able to play on his turn, if he gets back to it.
I agree.
He knows he doesn't have to worry about the effect Veiler.
So Liam down to 2 cards in hand, I believe now.
Liam opened a bit too many. Oh, sorry, Jordan opened a bit too many going second cards. that is the problem when you are siding this many hand traps. You have to decide what do I take out, and sometimes you have to take out the engine cards. Oh, you start with Dark Contract.
Dark Contract with the gate. This is quite strong actually.
Yes.
You get a lot here. You can even potentially make a Zeus if he's playing it.
Most of the Unchained cards, I would say, are 2-card combos. So even if you drew something like Shavara, you might not have been able to do enough with it. But he can summon Machina
X,
and he can also summon Zeus.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually got Zeus within his list. I just missed it. That's okay. I saw Typhon, but I didn't see Zeus. So yeah, if he's got Zeus, then yeah, it's just going to make it that little bit harder for Liam just to try and claw his way back in.
Yes.
Especially as that just puts on so much pressure as well.
Yeah, Jordan is going to deal quite a lot of damage because the monsters that were tributed from Nibiru did have low stats. It was a Sunseed Genius Loci and Jasmine.
So it's only 1,800 between them. At least we know that Jordan's hands, outside of that, it's not particularly great, is it?
It's not great, but we're not able to comment on Liam's hand as well.
True.
But we did only see him use his normal summon, so you might have another normal summon as well.
So he decided to destroy the token there, just because it's extra damage, right?
Yep.
And it puts them on more of a clock, especially if the Zeus needs to be used on next turn.
Liam really does need to do something.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we're going to see just what Liam's able to draw. He's got 1 card in hand, I believe.
Yeah. Has Jordan decided not to go for the Zeus? He's not past turn. I saw him. I thought he might have given a gesture. Adding up the damage. Should be 5/8. And we see the Zeus in defense position for good measures. Against Rikka though, I would not summon it in defense position. And there we see Liam Scoop not being able to play through the Zeus. Jordan showing his experience with, in general, and knowing exactly